Alrighty. We are back. Sorry if my voice sounds a little strange. Got some sunflower seeds. Saw some dill sunflower seeds. I thought I haven't had those in ages, so we're going to have some of those. And we're going to do this over here. We're going to dry brush our 3D printed FDM Warhammer model that we did before. This is going to be part 2 though. So I need to get rid of that, and I need to get this and copy that and bring that to here. So that way, yeah, that's what we're doing. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and we will drive over here to the, now I'm going to do something a little bit different. For those of you who don't know, I'm Steve, the retired hobby tech guy, American expat here in Korea. Retired early, FDM printed, resin printing stuff, learning how to paint minis and all that. I mean, I ended up, you know, kind of doing cool things like that. Really enjoy it. I'm at 59, hell, I can enjoy it if I want. If people don't like me enjoying it, screw them. So with that, we're going to continue on. But what we're going to end up doing is we're going to go over to the paint desk there, and you're going to see something like this. So there will be a shot of my face instead of the camera feed, because the camera feed was so washed out because of the overhead light and everything, and I'm mostly have my head down and you really just see my forehead and it's washed out. So I figure what I'll end up doing is I'll just go ahead and put pictures of me, so like that. And then where I kind of got, you know, hey, you know, oh, I don't know, what are you talking about? And then, you know, oh, hold on, wait a second here. Yeah, thumbs up. And then, yeah, kind of a surprise, and then thinking about it, and then back to that here. So, yeah. So that way you don't have to watch my washed out face. It looks a little prettier, and that's as, even then, it's, I know I'm asking a lot. But let's go ahead and do that. So let's jump into that there. And that way, if I get up early in the morning, I don't have to worry about trying to get all nice and pretty, because the pictures are already there, and it is pretty. So what we're doing is we are continuing on with our Warhammer dude that we see here. And he's turned out pretty good. Again, this FDM printed, and we've been doing some good detail work on there using speed paints. Now, the problem with speed paints is not the problem with speed paints, but the fact that I didn't prime this in black and then do the zenithal. I just had PLA and did the zenithal, and yeah, I should have primed it in black, but live and learn. So we're just going to drive on. As long as we get this thing off of the pile of shame, we'll be good to go. So as we're sitting here amongst the boneyard, let's go ahead and dive into it. If you want to leave some comments, I can see those on the chat. So I can, if you ask questions, I can answer. We can do whatever. And let's go ahead and see what we're going to do next, because we kind of did most of this. And I think we could do some of the bolter rifle here. And I think what we'll do is we will, where is our Abaddon black? We'll get this from our Citadel paints. I have to mix that up, it's been a minute. And we're going to be using our little silicone thing here, which is pretty nice. So easy to clean up. We'll just flip it onto the back there. And we'll do some painting. And we'll probably want like a smaller brush, like that. And we'll need a little bit of get a wet wipe. We're going to drive on. So let's go ahead and do our little bit of black. And so we can do that. Probably won't need a lot. Now you might be saying, I didn't know Citadel did dropper bottles. They don't. I transferred over Citadel paints to the dropper bottles. And for those of you who are new, this is what the dropper bottle looks like. And you hold it like that, and then you set it. But if you knock this over, you'll spill all of your paint. So if you, like for example, you do this in the dropper bottle, and I knock it over, guess what? I'm good to go. You don't lose a ton of paint. And Citadel paints are expensive. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they are expensive. Okay, let's just go ahead and we'll just start. Now, it did say we're using speed paints, but with this we're going to make an exception because I want a little bit of a darker color. And I don't know if that's going to be dark enough, honestly. We'll see. Might have to put it on a little thick. Because when I did put these paints, the Citadel paints, into the dropper bottles, it ends up they were a tad, they needed water, honestly. It was just something that needed to get all that. Let me see if that's, oh, if that's a wife. Nope. No, that's just the bank telling me I have money, which is good. So we'll just kind of continue on with this. And get this off the pile of shame. For those of you who don't know, the pile of shame is when you print a bunch of miniatures and you haven't painted them, and so they're in an unpainted state. And so as they're sitting on the shelf or in the pile, they look at you with disdain because you haven't painted them. So we are trying to rectify that problem by doing this little paint job here. I think we can go ahead and get a little bit of this back here. Not too concerned about the back of that because it will not probably be seen by the majority of people. But this side will. Pretty good. I wish it had like an Aquila on there, on the rifle, but it doesn't. And we will end up doing the scope on here as well. Again, just getting this off the pile of shame. We're just going to continue on, and eventually we're going to print more stuff out with miniatures on the K2 Plus. We printed out a few miniatures already, and they turned out pretty good. So yeah, looking forward to that. And the other thing we can do is black is his soles of his feet, his shoes, his boots, his booties. I'll just try to get some color in there, get some a little bit different. This should be good. I mean, I think this was printed at, if I'm not mistaken, it was 0.16 as far as the layer height, using the stock nozzle 0.04. So it turned out pretty good. Like I said, we're going to do some more miniatures on the K2 Plus. And I ordered a Micro Swiss because that's the hot end that I have. It was a well worth upgrade. And I got the 0.2 nozzle. So we'll be able to get some even better results. And some people shot me emails and were like, well, why would you want to FDM print a miniature? And because I said the same thing, I was like, yeah, you get better results with a resin printer, which I do have. I have the Saturn III Ultra. But there are people that they're in a situation where they don't like the smell, or somebody in their family doesn't like the smell, or they live in a place where they can't do resin printing because of the smell. You know, some apartments, they don't kind of dig that. And that smell, that resin smell is just rough. So, yeah, some people are like, well, can I print miniatures on an FDM printer? And apparently, you can. So, that's kind of a good thing to know. Let's see, we'll clean this up a little bit. We'll move on and we can do some brown. Satchel brown, I think that's a good color. That's a speed paint, by the way. I got so many other things I need to paint. I've got like this guy here. That's going to be a pretty wild looking guy. There's a lot of white on him, so it'll be interesting. And then the other dude that I have, the other chunky monkey that we have here, is this guy. So I'm looking forward to do speed paint on him, but again, it's kind of a lot of white. So, but that'll be an interesting one. And they've been waiting forever and a day to get done. Summer Lead 416 says, great stuff. Do you prefer to use speed paints and the Army Painter series? Yes, I do, matter of fact. These are speed paints, these are Citadel, these are the Army Painter, and then on the other side of that, I have Army Painter airbrush paints. But the speed paints are really good, I think, because it's so easy to get a good look with those things. And all you got to do is get a gradient on your zenithal, the white that you spray down, and it ends up being awesome. So, but thing about speed paints is you don't always have the colors you need. So that's where the other army painter paints come into play. So we'll see how this turns out with this brown. And hopefully this will turn out good. So far it is. And this whole thing was to see how well an FDM printed model works with speed paints. But there is a caveat, because I didn't prime this model, and unfortunately I should have primed it in black, but I didn't. And yeah, I noticed that there's some difference. I should have primed it, should have filled it, did some filler on it, and then I should have did the zenithal. But all I did with this was basically I did dry brush for the zenithal. I didn't even use an airbrush. So it's been, if I was going to do it again, I would definitely hit it up with filler and primer. Summerland says, I picked up a few of them recently and noticed that their pigments are really good. He bought a few of the markers to try out and haven't gotten to them yet. Personally, I just like to prime in white. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, the priming in white is good. But I have noticed that if I prime some stuff, depending on what it is, you can get some interesting colors on them. So for example, if you do black and then add a little bit of purple to it, or do black as the primer and spray some purple on there as you're shooting in the shadow areas, then when you do your white zenithal, you get a little bit of a deeper or a different shadow look. You could also do a dark blue, kind of add some stuff to that as well. But turns out good. Turns out good. But if you get a good zenithal, yeah, it turns out really nice. I think we're going to use some of this Talos bronze, and we'll put this on the magazine. And you know, I wish I could go back to black. I've missed this part here. But in all honesty, it just comes down to trying and finding what you like and what looks good, and then taking it from there. But I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the different colors that you could put with black or spray onto black to kind of get a different shade. I actually saw somebody else on YouTube do it, so I can't even remember their name. But I was like, nah, really? And then it turned out really good. So very, very subtle as far as, you know, the perception of that color, but turned out great. Let's see if we can do some of this Talos bronze on some of this. Let's see what we can get. just to kind of get a different color. But yeah, if I was going to go back over this again, I would definitely do filler or print it at 0.08. It would take forever to print, but it would lessen the post-processing, that's for sure. Mix that up a little bit. See if we can do some, just add some dots of joy on here. Just kind of break up the colors a little bit. And I think we'll do gold in there. This isn't my normal streaming day, or time, I should say. Usually I'm up much earlier doing this stuff. And since I live in Korea, that creates an interesting... I got a little bit of a different time frame, let's just so to speak. That looks pretty good. Not bad, not bad. And can we save some of this black? Because I forgot to do kind of the barrel, which is not going to take much. So that way we can get that in there. And then we will fill this with blackness. Okay, that should be good. And you can see where I touched it, so we'll touch that back up again. Summer Led says, I find for fantasy minis, etc., the white prime goes great for the brighter colors. However, a black undercoat works good for sort of the grimdark look. That is absolutely true. You nailed it. I like the grimdark, you know, the battle-worn look, but I do have some stuff that I painted that's pretty bright. Like I've got this guy here. I've got him painted as a miniature, and he's kind of bright colored. So yeah, totally agree. It can definitely help you. So let's see, what do we want? Let's do a little bit of gold. Talos, we'll come back to the bronze for some of this stuff, and we'll see how that goes. But let's do a little bit of gold on some of this. And, ooh, forgot to clean that when I was done. So we'll get a little bit. And I'll just make it a gold bolt carrier group. And we'll do a little tiny bit of gold in there. Boom. That'll work. That'll work. And can I see in there? Barely. Nobody will see it but me, but I will know. So that's coming out pretty good. I like it. We can see what we got there. So we got and the red came out really, really good. that on the, you can see the details. Turned out nice. And I can't wait to get my other camera. I'm just using a little Logitech Brio camera on this. And yeah, I'm gonna get that YOLO Live S3 camera because it's got a good autofocus. I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be ordering around the middle of the month. So we'll see how that goes. Alrighty, let's do the staff here. So the plan for the staff, I think, of course we'll do some brown. So we can get, we got a couple brown. Fire Drake comes out a really cool color. But I don't know if we should just continue and do Satchel Brown, because that'll be the same brown as this is really dark. So I think I'll do the Fire Drake and we'll see how that goes on this part of the staff. I'll do some Lead Belcher on this, or some silver from, which is a pretty good silver from Speed Paints. And then of course the skulls on here will be skull colored. We'll do, I don't know, silver, and then we'll do gold on the Aquila, and we'll try to, maybe we'll do a little bit of red on the center stuff here, and just try to get some different colors. We'll do some brown on that as well, so it'll kind of tie in with the, with that. So let's try the Fire Drake, which is a really cool color. I love it. On the first part of this stream, we kind of asked people, you know, I said it's definitely going to do gold, and the choice was between red or purple. And it ended up being purple, which turns out pretty good. The gold's a good contrast for that. Ooh, look at that, ugly. Ugly. So the Fire Drake, let's go ahead and do a couple drops of that. Fire Drake is awesome. Oh yes, yes. You can always go with lighter shade, a brown yellow on the handle, and then do brown wash. Yeah, that is true. I'm just going to try the Fire Drake because I love the richness and how deep it looks. And I just really like that color. First time I used it was like on a winged one-page rules character, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's my favorite color now. Just one of their starting ones. And it's just, somebody was asking me, like, what is a good paint set to start out with if you don't want to spend a lot of time and you don't, you know, there's not a big learning curve. And it would definitely be Speed Paints. You just can't, as long as your prime and your zenithal is good to go. Oh, that looks so nice. It is so good. I'm a green guy myself. I'm on GW line. I love the Tesseract glow. Yeah. That is cool. I like that as well. So yeah, that turned out nice. If you can see that. It's got a nice color to it. A little bit of depth in there. And let's just... no, I think that is going to be it for the Fire Drake, folks. But man, that comes out nice. Love it, love it. Love it, like it. Fire Drake, so good. Then we'll do the Satchel Brown on the part of that. And then we'll switch over to a little bit of brown. On this piece here, because that kind of matches what we did over on here. So I think that'll work out good. Satchel brown is a nice color too. I'll just load this up like so. Because paints are expensive. And then we'll go back with some silver. I'll knock out some silver on some of these in between those ridges and stuff. So that handle will look pretty good with that brown. Dun dun dun. Do you have a vortex mixer? Yes, I do. Definitely have a vortex mixer. Just picked one up off of Amazon, and it has been great. So yeah, we got that little bit of brown action going. And now, the bones are going to be bones, but we got a lot of silver that we're going to end up doing. Probably do a bronze cap on here. We can do a bronze on the bottom as well. So I think we'll do that. Yep. Let's go ahead and we'll do some bronze on the bottom. We'll do bronze on the top. And I think that'll look kind of cool. If not, we could paint over it. Or maybe, I don't know, that's pretty close. Maybe we'll just do bronze around that little bottom area there. And then we can come back and cover that up with gold. Because that's just too close. Yeah, I don't like that. So we'll just wipe it off. Boom, booyah. They're good. Anything else that needs Talos? I don't think so. So we're done with that. That, or you can highlight with gold. That's true. I could do like edge highlighting right across the edges there with gold. I like that edge highlighting idea. I think I'll still do this in gold, and then I'll come back with either the Talos bronze and do little lines down it like that, so we can still get edge highlighting. I think we'll do something like that. Yeah, how crazy are we going to go on this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Rub off, you get the effect in a small detail with a bronze wash. Yeah. And so let's just see how it goes with the gold. That's a cool thing. I mean, you could just try. There's so many different things you could try. Ooh, but that gold's coming out nice. And the gold on the speed paints has got some good coverage. I really like it. The metallics are really good. I mean, you can see through it a little bit. You can still get the gradient of the zenithal, but it's got good coverage, kind of like we see on the purple and stuff like that. So it is nice. Yeah, maybe we'll come back and we'll do that thing with the highlighting, edge highlighting with a bronze or something. That could look really good. So that looks kind of good. You see there. I like it. I like it. Good to go. Of course, not putting this in any competition, so. Do a bronze wash, rub it off, and you get the effect in a small detail. Yeah. So many tips and tricks you can end up doing. It's just wild. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna rock some silver. Broadsword silver. It flows really nice as well. Summerland says they have done an incredible job at increasing the volume of pigments on the metallics. I used to work in a pigment factory here in Canada. Oh, wow. I made all the colors. And you will be the resident color expert then. You just volunteered. You just volunteered. Congratulations. Yeah, the quality of these are really good. You can't deny that. The only problem is they're expensive, and that's the big problem with them. It's like $6.30 or 40 cents per ounce, and it makes you go, ouch. Let's see. Try not to touch the stuff I painted, and we will just go to town with this. And we will get a lot of edge highlighting on this as well. There's going to be the edges on here that you can see that. Oh, that's just screaming for gold. So yeah, this is going to be a nice looking hammer that we're going to have here. When you see what goes into making those, in fairness. But you got to admit, Army Painter and some of them, I mean, they're expensive compared to like the Arteco paints that we got over here. Those are nice paints, by the way. I was really surprised by the quality of the paint, and the pigment is real nice. It's not like chunky, like with some other cheap stuff that you can get, and they mix real well. Oh, that is going to be nice. So I was really surprised with those. It's definitely going to be keepers. That reminds me of like a lead belcher. Hey, we got Maker Viking here. Cool. Getting some more people into the mix. We're trying to do our dude here. And the thing with priming, if I primed this, it probably wouldn't suck up the paint as much as it is. It wouldn't soak it up as much. But, oh well. Lesson learned. Yes, we learned a lesson. Some corners that we need to do. Some edges. Edging is good. Just so many things we need to cover. But thankfully, speed paints are speedy. And the Zenithal does all the gradient work for you. So you don't have to blend anything and cut your work time down, and it ends up being nice. We get a little bit on the skull, a little bit. It's okay. Clean that up. How am I doing today? Doing good. Doing good. Enjoying it. Trying to get stuff off the pile of shame. Pretty good. Says work through the night again. The contest I ran on Tinkercad ended, so I needed to do a lot of work related to that. Speaking of Tinkercad, I just finished up a project, and then because as I was painting miniatures, I was like, you know what? I need something to hold my miniatures as I'm painting. And then it was like, well, I can order something off of Amazon, or I could spend a bunch of hours going onto Tinkercad and playing around with that. I'm no super CAD guy, that's for sure. I'm like a kid with a box of crayons. But I ended up making this thing here. So you can see that. Yeah, a little bit of thing. Call it the TVL 3265 because it'll hold a 32 millimeter base all the way up to 65 and maybe a tiny bit more. Made it with a brace. It's held together with some rubber bands, and then I have a larger shield that you can put on there, so that way you can grip it. And yeah, so that's on my Creality Cloud thing. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed doing that. And I just posted that on my Creality Cloud, and all that stuff is free. Anything I post there is free, so there's that. Oh, the gold on this is just going to be awesome. This hammer is going to be the bomb. So yeah, my Tinkercad skills are very, very elementary, should we say. And yeah. It turned out good. I liked it. Spent way too much time on it, but it came out great. And it does help. But with that, I mean, honestly, I could have spent 30 seconds on Amazon and ordered the thing and clicked ding, and it would be here in a couple of weeks. But yeah, what's the fun in that? Countless hours on Tinkercad, but I think it came out to like $2.30 for that thing. You know, with filament and printing it out and stuff like that, the filament cost was $2.30. So it was like, okay, I can do that. I would say it was worth it. And now that I put it on Creality Cloud, a bunch of other people can download it for free, and they can save some money, print it out. Yeah, this has turned out good. Looking at some stuff here, something about gift memberships or whatever. NetVentive. Sent one Very Life gift membership. Really? Dude, that is awesome. Thank you. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah. I guess I can do that, whatever that is. We'll see what happens. Maker Viking says, I'm design expert, but I have been designing since 2018 and designed a couple of printers, mods, etc. Also sculpts. I need a ZBrush for that. I'm no design expert. Dang phone. Yeah. Dang autocorrect. So we're going to continue painting on. We've got a bunch to do. But the good thing is we got a majority of it done before. So that was nice. And then the wife she had an appointment to get her hair done and all that stuff. So I drove her over there, and so she's doing that. She'll get a taxi back. And then I was like, I need something to do. I said, I know what I can do. I got this dude that I can paint. And that will come out good. Okay, we're good there. But all the models on my Creality Cloud, the Varied Life, they're all free. Because, I mean, they're Tinkercad, you know. So it's nothing like Fusion 360 and stuff that I've seen other people do, which is insane. Of course, I've seen people do crazy stuff on Tinkercad. Probably stuff I'll never be able to do. And that turned out really good. You know what? I'm going to do a little bit of silver on this bottom piece, just because I think it needs capped in silver. Not that anybody will see it, but it's done. Wow. What other stuff can we end up doing? Is there anything in silver that we need to do? Touch-ups? Something I just want to do in silver? I don't think so. I think we're good. And I could do some edge highlighting on armor. maybe I'll do that towards the end because I still got to touch this thing. But we can get our bone on. Let's get our bone on. The important thing is that you can do what you can to what you need to do, not the software. Not which software you use. That's true. And, you know, that's something I've been looking into, is maybe doing some different software, because the Tinkercad, that's free, you know, web-based and all that. I mean, it's okay. It's good for what I've done. But I don't know. Some people were suggesting FreeCAD. I was looking into that. Kind of along that route to you know, put a little bit of time, but not so much that the learning curve is just going to blow me out of the water. So I don't want to do the gold yet because I don't think that's dry, but I think we can do the skeleton bone. And that's peachy flesh. Bony matter. We're going to try the bony matter and see how that works. Yummy. And we'll just load up the brush. We're not going to pour any out because I have a tendency to put more on the palette than I actually need. If I just load the brush like this, then it ends up, it's like, oh, okay. So let's try the bony matter and see how this works. It's not like skeleton bone, but that's a really skeleton bone with the Army Painter does some real good coverage. But I just kind of want to stick with the speed paints for the most part. Fusion 360 is free if you don't make any money with it. Yeah, that's true. I hate subscription services. Even along the brown parts of the handle, you can dry brush on a lighter color to show some wear. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I was thinking about doing that. I think that would be a good thing to do. So I like that idea. Okay. But yeah, I need some sleep. It's 8 a.m. and I have a great stream. Well, hey, you too, Maker Viking. Have a good one. Get some sleep. Enjoy it. Recover well. And we'll continue on. I might go back and, because those wings are going to be interesting. But you just probably leave those the way it is. But that's coming out good. It's nice. Speed paints are so nice and quick. I didn't know how to paint to begin with, and so I started with the Army Painter paints, and which was good. I learned, you know, how to mix some stuff, and you know, learned some other techniques. But I guess if you just want to, you know, throw some stuff down and have some decent colors for some tabletop minis, speed paints are the way to go. Because it is speedy, that's for sure. Do a little bit more. I think that'll work. And then it'll be time for the gold. I'm gonna go for the gold. And that'll look really good. 8 a.m. It is, what time is it here? It is 2:51 in the afternoon here in Korea. So we got that. And it's going to be a lot of gold, a lot of gold, a lot of gold edging, which will really make that pop. Let's do, I think we'll go for gold on the top little piece there. Kind of cap it off. Since we had gold on the bottom, we can do gold on the top. And it just goes on there so nice. It's just such a wonderful coverage. And it's also very watery. We're gonna need our longer brush, which this one would be good. And I think, let's make sure. I think we're gonna have to pour this on here and get some good stuff. I just wish these things would, because the inside of that gets all boogered up. I just wish they were more watertight. But it is what it is. Alrighty. Let's see if we can mix up some gold and kind of do some edging on this thing. And just kind of go over. Just like that. I guess we can do that too. So that looks good. Daddy-like. watery. I think we'll be okay. And then let's add a little bit to some of these dots and rivets, like so. And we can try to do some edging. It's just the edge on that is just real small. So I'm trying not to screw it up. I try not to get it on the skull as well. Yeah, that was kind of thick. Oh well. Just a little bit of a brush. It came out pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. I do say so myself. See if we can get a little edge across there, which is good. We did good. Did good. And then a little bit across here. Nice, nice, nice. Down that side is going to be a little tight. Dab there. That had some rough edges there, but I think we can get that. Ended up being good. Turned out nice. Pretty good, pretty good. And we got to get that little edge. But this is what keeps me out of trouble. Wife is like, why do you need so many paints? It's like, they keep me out of trouble. But you already bought paints. I know. And then the funny one was when I told the wife, well, I bought these paints, you know, the Army Painter paints. And then I brought the airbrush paints, and she's like, well, why do you need airbrush paints? I said, well, when I use my airbrush to paint. So there's that. And then I bought the speed paints, and she goes, why do you need speed paints? I said, so I can paint faster. And she said, why didn't you buy those to begin with? And I'm like, I don't know. Good observation there, sweetie. But yeah, she catches on quick. So it's kind of funny. So she's like, you know, the other paints, they're slow, huh? I was like, yeah, she got me. She got me. Why would you buy slow paints? Yeah. Yep. And she kind of dug at me a little bit afterwards. She goes, so are they coming out with any faster paints? I was like, no. Not that I know of. I said, if they do, I'll let you know. That is... So you gotta love being married. Go Forth Painting. Hello. Go Forth says, I'm new subscriber on your channel. Greetings from Hungary. Wow, that's cool. Well, welcome to the channel. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm in Korea. I'm an American expat in Korea. And just end up doing some painting stuff to keep me out of trouble. I'm retired, so I needed something to do. And yeah, this painting stuff has been good. Learn how to paint, do some cool stuff. And it has been good. Just trying to do the little gold on here. Try to get some details on this FDM printed model. So I printed this out on my Creality K2 Plus. And it has been interesting. I've also done a few miniatures. And we'll take a look and I'll show you how those turned out. Because we painted those. So let's see, how does that turn out? Not bad, huh? Probably need to redo. This is FDM printed, by the way. Printed out on my K2 Plus. So it has been, this was 0.16 layer height with the 0.4 stock nozzle. And it turned out, it was all right. I've learned since I've done this, but I might try to do some red on the center of this, because we did some red on his little hair there, but we might do some on the inside of this thing here, but I'm not sure. I'm still debating on whether to do that or not. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do it in gold. And then that way we just call it good. yeah, not bad. Not bad. That turns out kind of good. The only thing about speed paints, though, is that you can reactivate them if you put more paint on top of it. So I think that turned out all right. Not bad. At least he's off the pile of shame. But we still have some stuff to do on the helmet. And matter of fact, there's a little bit of skull that we could do in gold on the front there. They're real tiny. That detail didn't come out as well, but let's see if we can't get that looking a little bit better. A little bit of a mess up, but not too bad. Terry's back. Hey, Steve. Missed your earlier stream. I was getting the fire going and preparing for the grill. Terry is our chef, our resident chef. One of them. Yeah, we're just trying to get this guy off the pile of shame and doing a little bit of work here. Try to get him painted with some paints, and turned out pretty good. I mean, not bad. Whoa, crazy. Not bad for the most part. So a little bit, few hiccups and stuff like that, but for the most part, not too bad. It'll be good enough to get him off the shelf of shame. So we need that black. No, that's silver. See if we can do a little bit of silver on that. A little bit of the tubes on him. That whole thing there, so that way we get a little bit more color. And then the eyes, we'll have to come back and do something with the eyes. Probably go in with the white, and then we'll try to do like a fluorescent color, kind of like the Citadel Tesseract or something. But that needs a lot of mixing up. That is like, so I have so not used that in a long time. So yeah, just a quick little thing that we got going here. I don't even think there's a steel ball in there. Usually I throw a like a little mixing ball in there. It helps it. Yeah, I've so not used that in so long. It's getting there. It's just taking a while. So I'd say we're almost pretty much done with this. I mean, we could go there. Yeah, I do. There it is. It just took a little while. That's how long it's been sitting. It's been a minute. I could go through and do some edge highlighting with that. Yeah, that looks a lot better. We'll throw on a little bit of white on his eyes, and then we can go and we can dip into do some edge highlighting on some of those areas. So let's get some white going. Ooh, that's matte white. I want titanium white. And I need a small brush. Like that. Is that small enough? I think so. Titanium white. Dun dun. Oops. There's way too much white. But these Art Deco paints are pretty good. I've been pleasantly surprised with them. And they're not as expensive as Army Painter paints. They mix pretty well. I'll need a little bit of water, just a little bit. And I'll just bring some of that in there. See if I can not screw up the eyes. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and get my Super Geek glasses on so I can get up close and personal. So we can do this white, and then we can get a little bit of that glow thing that we got. And we can see if we can't really make his eyes glow the right color. Yay! We did the eyes. Sounds like we had some type of... Somebody's coming into the underground parking garage. That sound that they heard was... there's only two cars. Our car and I think our niece's, the wife's niece car or something like that. Yeah. So I have to let that white dry. That came out good. That'll be nice. So, you know, we could just do the edge highlighting and do that. We'll just set that over there. Go take and clean that up afterwards. And let's see. Sounds like the wife. Hey, you're back.
Hi.
Somebody give you a ride home?
You didn't.
Ah.
You didn't give me. I met her.
Yeah.
You didn't give me a ride.
Okay. Treaty. Make another video.
Oh.
No, that's fine. How'd the hair turn out? Oh, looks good. Nice. Beautiful. You got it cut short. Seriously? You got it cut short.
Just a little bit.
That is really short.
Just a little bit. I got some bulgogi and stuff, honey. Bulgogi's gonna be dinner.
Okay, alrighty. It's so short. Dang it. That came off. So, we got our super glue. Throw some super glue on here. Let's see if we can throw a little bit of water on there. We should be good. For our gold. One of the guys that watches the stream, Ferrithus, he told me about using a little bit of water on the CA or the super glue, and it actually acts like activator. Pretty good. It's better than no activator. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Okay, I think we can use this guy here. And we will try to do some edge highlighting. Because we just got this massive purple, and the edge highlighting will bring in some much needed interruption of all that purple. Which, if I primed this before I painted it, the purple would have looked better, but I didn't. So lesson learned. Time for a swig. So we've got a lighter purple. We could do like the orc. That is close. That would give us some good coverage, but then there's another one that came off. Do like a pink. Seriously. I thought I glued these pretty good. But it could be that the plastic caps just don't have, maybe I should have sanded them. These are pretty slick. What could we, sandpaper's in the other room. Wonder if we can just try to rough it up. That's not going to work. Maybe we'll score it a little bit. Good enough for government work. Throw that on there, we should be good to go. Kind of a pink, but this is speed paint, so it's not really going to give the coverage that we want, so we might go with Army Painter, now that I'm thinking about it. Go like that, Orc Blood, or Warlock Purple. Some other colors we end up having. That's red. We don't want the red. Fray pink. I was gonna say do edge highlighting in gold, but I think that would be a little rough. But then the pink doesn't look that good either. Oh, I forgot some gold on the. Let's go back to some gold. Always going back. Always missing something. But that's okay. That'll give time for the other stuff to dry. That looks good. That'll definitely break up that mass of purple that we got all over him. Could just do his kneecap as well. Might as well. Just run with it and go. Because it's got some good coverage. And we're going to need more gold. Leave that out just in case. And, oh yeah, we need some there. Oh yeah, it looks a lot better. Definitely a lot better. Need it clean, a little bit of a cleaner line. Okay, we are good. Not too much bleeding. But there is some bleeding on this. Then again, if I primed it properly, we wouldn't be experiencing that, so that's my bad. Again, there's always missing the obvious. This is turning out pretty good. And I got to the point of where it's like, I don't want to do it because I know it's a funky FDM and you can see the layer lines and all that stuff. I honestly thought about throwing this away, but I was like, nah, he's big enough. We can do it. So yeah, that looks better. And we could also do those there. Why not? We're gonna do gold. Let's do gold. Thing is, I just don't want to touch the thing that I painted. We'll do these gold as well. My hand is shaking. use the table. Imagine that. What are the odds? The table doesn't shake. Did anybody see? I saw something on social media, so yeah, I got to take it with a grain of salt. But I saw a video that was saying Netflix was getting Henry Cavill back into The Witcher. And because this last season of The Witcher just bombed horribly, it was saying that they were going to bring him back. I was like, no, that can't be true. But I only saw it in one video. I would think something that big, that monumental, would be kind of like all over. So I'm just wondering if it's just a fake account, you know, just putting out fake news. But so if anybody knows, has heard anything, that whole thing was just, could have been a really good show, but they didn't make it much about him, even though he was the main character, it seemed. I mean, he did good, but I think the story was lacking, and the people that wrote it for the, not the book series, but the the script. Okay, that looks a lot better. That would be nice. Just redo the whole thing. Just really make it about him instead of what they butchered it out to be. So, but then he's also supposed to be doing the Highlander, and then he's also doing Warhammer 40K. So that's a lot of stuff that he's got going on. And hopefully we'll be around to check that out. That would be cool. Okay, so we're good for the gold. We went for the gold and got it. Edge highlighting. What do you think? I mean, should I do the edge highlighting in gold as well? That would really bring out a lot, that's for sure. I'm seriously thinking about it, because that would be an interesting thing. Take a swig and think. Screw it, let's do it. Let us do it. See what happens. It's only edge highlighting, who cares? If I screw it up, then, well, I just put them at the back of the display case, facing the wall or something. So I painted that, so I want to stay away from that. Let's see how this would look. actually, that can come out pretty good. That's not bad. So we got a little bit of edge there. Actually, I like that. Just make it a little bit thicker. And yes, I think that'll work. Edge highlighting in gold. Some of this is just not conducive to running my brush, so I'm going to actually have to draw the line on some of this. It's not too bad, I think. I'll just go ahead and fill that top part in. I'll just give him a little gold brim. Screwed up, but we'll just give him a wide brim on there, as long as I don't screw it up again. Like that. But we're gonna have to draw a little bit of a tiny line on that. Thick. I screwed it up. But it's the underhang. The overhangs on this are not the best in the world. So it's not a well-defined edge. We can pretend. We can massage it and try to get it to look like an edge. Does anybody know if you can buy speed paints individually? That is a good question. Or they just kind of say, hey, you need to buy a whole nother kit. Be like, okay. Yeah, it's working out okay. It's not too bad. Okay. Let's do some, we'll start at the top and try to work our way down. Boy, that's kind of a thick line. Not too bad. Made a little too thick on that one part, so I gotta make the other part thick to make it look to kind of balance that out. Okay. Too bad. And it's a little thick. That's okay, we can play with that. We can massage that out. Thankfully, this is a larger print, so I can there's no way I would attempt this on a 32 millimeter dude. That would just be way too small. Okay. It's turning out good, turning out good. Should have pulled out my wet palette. I screwed that one up. But, oh well. Almost like I just do a band across this. And that'll work. Thunk, thunk, thunkety thunk, thunk. some more gold. Do a little bit of a band right across that. Actually, that's turned out pretty nice. Not bad. Fingers are going to be interesting. Just do a quick once over. Nothing too crazy. Get a little bit of color on there, nothing wild. I think that'll work. On to the other arm. I'll try to make that a little bit thicker. And dare I try to do the little bit of I really need a new prescription. A little bit, not bad. Do the other side. Just need to be careful. What else do we got going on? Yeah, the new Fallout season is out. So I was waiting for that. But I guess I was expecting too much out of that. Because unfortunately it is not, I don't know, it's just not filling me with the same man, I screwed that up. It wasn't filling me with the same kind of like the enjoyment I had with the first series or first season. So It is what it is. Getting there. I think we're doing good. We can travel down the legs a little bit. Oh. Spoke too soon. Easy. Easy killer. Oh no. I broke him. Shh. Don't tell anybody. That's what I get for throwing them around, right? Maybe I should have put better infill. That's okay. We can fix that. That's supposed to come off. that's what we're gonna say. Okay, so let's continue on. These overhangs on this are rough. As Henry Cavill in The Witcher would say. I'm going to put a little bit of a bigger line on that. That's a good thing. If you make a mistake, you pay too much, you can just add a little bit more and say, hey, I meant to do that. It might work out. Edge of the brush is getting all funky. edges are, oops. Seriously. Gotta do some cleanup on aisle 5. Come back with some black. That's okay. It is what it is. That whole box in. That'll look better. We are getting there. Reconstitute some of this. A little bit. A little bit. Not too bad. Continue on, drive on, drive on. So much to do. Whose idea was to do edge highlighting? gold. Because that just, there's so much to do. Just doesn't seem to end, does it? The other question is, what are we going to have for dinner? I think it needs like a wider stripe. That looks a little better. Looks a little better. Yeah, just so many edges on this guy. It's all coming together. Like pinstriping all over. Okay, we get a little bit more color on him. With that, so that was good. Don't think we're missing anything, maybe. I think we're good enough. Always prime. Yes, you can paint onto PLA, but I don't recommend it. I highly recommend you prime it, fill it, prime it, like a 2-in-1 filler, and then prime it. And that'll fill in some of the details. Where was that cool color? The cool tesseract, whatever. Here it is. See if we can hit the eyes real quick. And then once we do that, then we'll glue his hammer back on there. And I think we can get him to, I think that'll be the point where we can call him done. I'm getting a little burnout on this. And then I'll probably, I could do a base on him, or I could just set him up the way he is. Let's see, we need the green-eyed monster. Let's get our super G glasses on. We can load this up. It's clogged, probably because I haven't used it in a minute. Yes. Now let's see if we can load this up. There we go. See if we can do the eyes. It's a bit much. That is going to come out nice. Getting it just the way I wanted it. The eyes come out good. I think so. I think that is good. Tesseract glow. Another good color. While that's drying, I'll show you another model that I did with speed paints. And then we'll show that one. And we'll show these little guys. These guys I also printed out on K2 Plus. This is, so this guy is about 99% is speed paint. And you can see he came out very, very nice. So, yeah, some great details there. And again, a good zenithal. And I did some like dirty down on the base and stuff like that, but you can see a lot of the colors that we ended up using are speed paints. And that just came out wonderfully, wonderful. So we got that guy. And then here's a mini that we did on the K2 Plus. We did this guy here. And that's at 0.08 at 0.4. And I mean, he turned out pretty good. That's tabletop ready. I would say that's good. He's recognizable as an orc, and if he's on the table. And then we did this little guy as well. So you can see how he turned out. If we can try to get the focus in on there. But that wasn't too bad either. And this whole thing was, can you print a mini on an FDM printer? And it came out surprisingly well. So will FDM printing beat out resin printing? Absolutely not. I don't think we'll see that anytime during my lifetime, because with that, check that out, and the details on this one are just kind of crazy. That's resin printed, so I don't think we'll ever get that much detail out of an FDM printer. It's just insane. So here's another little dude that we got. Again, you can just see I'm going to get a better camera. But yeah, the details that you get on these things is just insane. So yeah, it is what it is. So, but yeah, some pretty good results on speed paint. Really good. I mean, again, that just came out great. And for like the teeth and stuff, I did like army painter paint and the real shiny bits there. I put some UV resin and cured that, but the rest of it is all speed paint 2.0. So, alrighty. Time to do some repair work. We're going to use our UV resin from Green Stuff World. I got a little UV light pen, because apparently I can't hold on to this guy. So I'll put a bunch of that in there. I'll put some on here. And we should be able to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And we get them in the wrong. Throw that light on there, cure that resin, and we should be good to go. As long as I don't drop them again. That UV resin has saved many a miniature. Just make sure that gets all nice and cured. We should be good. I think we'll have this guy in enough of a position to call him done. Whether I do a base on him or not, I don't know. We'll save that for another video, but I think we're pretty good. And if we wanted to do, so yeah, there he is. It's all fixed. Oh, I got those two things on top that I got to fix as well, which I did find these, because I dropped him in the other video. What are the odds? So I'll just throw some resin on there. Easy there, killer. And we will throw the light on there. And I think we'll do these in Talos bronze as well. So we got a little bit of a different color instead of just all of that being gold. And so I think that'll turn out pretty good. So again, just a little bit of UV light. We can get them back into action. And the same thing, we'll do that. And it holds up pretty good. Pretty good. Always try to keep my stuff clean. Got that. Talos bronze or weapons bronze from Army Painter. Well, they're both Army Painter, but let's try the weapons bronze. I think that can look really good. Get a little bit of a different color there, because I really like the color on that one. And then we can kind of do the spikes with that bronze, and then the line here, we can do that with bronze as well. And we could go through and do these little rivets in bronze as well. That would add a nice little touch, I dare say. So let's do that. Oh yeah, that is going to be good. Nice little bronzy, so orange-ish. Just got to make sure we don't hurt him again. So yeah, we're going to be doing some more miniature painting, or printing and painting, with the K2 Plus FDM printer. Like I said, I was pretty surprised on those little miniatures that we did, 32mm guys. Really surprised. I mean, yeah, you're not going to, it had some muddled details and everything, but if you're like, the whole thing was, can it be tabletop ready? And apparently, it can be. You're not going to win any painting awards. Well, I don't know. Some of those people that paint those things, there's some people out there who do some awesome jobs on that stuff. So I'm going to say maybe somebody could. This kind of got muddled up in printing. But too bad. Kind of gives a little pop to it. Tad more. Could add some water to this, but I think we're good. 'Cause I like how thick that is. It's got a real good color. I don't want it to like kind of just go crazy, spilling into places. Yeah, that looks good. A bit of bronze there. Not bad, not bad. I think we can just continue on and we'll just do these little rivets here. And we'll do some other rivets. Some little detail punch, bing. And then we could do the, yeah, let's go ahead and we'll hit this as bronze. That'll look good. And then can we get away with a little bit of edging? Kind of. A little bit, not bad. Good enough for government work, as we used to say when I worked in the government. And when I mean worked in the government, I was in the military. And then I also worked for the state government in the Colorado state, or the state of Colorado. Yes, this is all coming together famously. Seriously. These paints are expensive. taking too much time. We'll do bronze on this little kneecap there. That'll be an easy one to do. Getting hungry. Okay. That's good. Do we got any other little dots we can do? I think we are done with our dots. Maybe do a little bit of throw a little bit of bronze inside those vents. See how that turns out. Just turning out good. Yeah, that was nice. And do I do some bronze inside of the vents here? Sure, why not? Just to give it a little bit of a different color. Not too bad. Just a little bit of a difference there. A little bit of detail work. I think that'll work. And maybe on this, these little vents. Just kind of fill that in. Because it has some muddled details in there, so. Not as well defined as we had on those jetpack things up top. Okay, I think we are doing good. I dare say we are good. So I think we are good. Turned out well. I think it's good to go. We've done enough. Oh, wait. No. It's like, oh, I could do this. But I think we're good. I think, honestly, we are done with this. He's happy. He's painted. He's been waiting patiently so long to get painted. And, yeah, call that good. So I need to wash that. Need to wash this. Those are the ones I need to wash. It should be good. Alrighty. Let's see how this goes. See how it looks. Let's see if we can't get a little bit more light on this. So we finished up our baby doll. Here he is. And so we got some pretty good details in there, especially on his hammer and everything. And the details, little rivets and everything came out really nice. Got some decent details even on the jetpack and stuff like that. Sorry for the washout. Hammer did a good job. So yeah, I think we did good. And then the eyes came out nice. You can see there, and the edge highlighting and all that. And I think we are calling this guy done. Done. Nice. Okay, so there it is. We finished him up. Okay, so let's go back over to the table. Finish up to the desk. And let's see, we still going? We are still going. So, that hair's all messed up, man. So, yeah, I think that turned out pretty good. Turned out well. We definitely got him going on. And we'll see how well he turns up here. But as you can see, we definitely got the eyes going on. You know, the hammer's good. Even though we had to fix that, you know, we got some good colors on there. It's not, you know, not the best paint job I've done, but enough to where he ended up turning out pretty good. So again, the green and the eyes and all that stuff, I think this did good. I think we did good on this. He is officially off the pile of shame. So yeah. Yes, he is done. No longer is he angry. And over on the shelf over there, I've got so many others that are just, he was always pointing at me, and he's that accusatory look and like, when are you going to paint? You need to paint me, hurry up. And so now we got it. He's painted. He's good. And yeah, now he can sit there and he can point at me and say, he painted me. So finally, took him long enough. So anyway, that's what we got going on. Ah, man, that was a doozy. We've been at this for what, 2.5 hours? And the other stream was what, 3 hours or something like that. Yeah, we did a little bit. So so that's what I got going on. So he turned out pretty good. That is good. Got him off the pile of shame. And then there's some other stuff that I wanted to take a look at. I just wanted to let you all know that if you're in the market for, for a painting handle, I made a painting handle and it's free on Creality Cloud. So I want to show that off. I'm pretty proud of it. It is the TVL 3265. Yeah, does that sound special or what? So this thing ends up, there it is, TVL 3265. This is a miniature painting handle, and it's put together with, as we can see there, with some hair ties. You could use rubber bands on this, but it's got a collet on there so that you can put the miniature on there, and then it has a brace so that if you want to hold it in different configurations and do your painting and, you know, kind of holding it like that, you can do that. But wait, there's more. So if we take this thing apart, what we'll end up seeing is that there's the top piece, and then there's this piece, the brace piece. So it's got a female and then a male, and then it's got the male. So it's able to rotate. Rotation is good. And then it's secured on the bottom like that. But say if we wanted to use the shield, we can do something. Let's see, how do we want to do this? So you put the shield like that so that it rotates around. We go ahead and put the other part in there like that. And then we'll put this hairband or rubber band through that hole. We'll secure it onto there. We'll take these other two and put them back, kind of like right up on there. And boom. So now we have it to where we can put our miniature on there. And voila. So we can end up taking him, and then we have a little bit more real estate. So we can move the miniature around. We can get a little bit of movement. You know, we've got some movement there, but you have more real estate to grab so that if you want to, you know, grab this and have some more room and paint at different angles, because what I found is the important thing is being able to keep your paintbrush and bring it straight. And so by rotating this handle around, you can just have your straight lines as you paint and just move the object, move the model into the orientation where you can paint that straight line instead of having to try to, well, I need to kind of get around the back and do all this weird stuff. So yeah, it turns out pretty good. And the reason I call it the 3265 is because I'll show you on my very first miniature, my very first Warhammer miniature. I can get him in there. There's the very first Warhammer figure that I ever painted, and he's got a 32 millimeter base. So it works with 32 millimeter bases, and then it goes all the way up to 65. And so we'll take a look at this baby and put him in there, and boom. So there's a good looking dude. And this would have been so much better if I ended up having this before. Now I did have the Warhammer or Games Workshop little handle, but it doesn't have this shield or brace, and that would have been nice to have. So anyway, we got this. And if you're interested in that, if we take a look at this here on Creality Cloud, what we can end up seeing, if I can zoom in a little bit, there it is right there. And I've got some other models. All these models are free, so that's kind of cool. Paint racks, whatever, Army Painter little paint racks, and then I actually have some other stuff on the back here, some airbrush stands, paintbrush holders, things like that. Yeah, so all of that, the cool thing is all of this stuff is free. So we'll go ahead and we'll copy this, and we'll bring this down here. A Varied Life, free models. And so just want to show some love to everybody and share my joy of Tinkercad, because that's what all this is made of. So the mileage will vary on all this stuff. But yeah, it turned out it's pretty good. It works well. I really enjoy it. And yeah, it was a labor of love, and it took way too long for me to do this. You don't realize how many hours I spent on that, going from zip zero nothing to getting it to where it was. There was a lot of iterations and a lot of changes. And the good thing is some people that watched the stream recommended some good changes as well. So that worked out well. Okay, so that's what we got going on. We finished up the dude there. He's done. We did some painting, lessened our pile of shame, showed you my little paint handle thing that was pretty cool. And now it is 5:38 p.m. here in Korea, because that's where I live. Retired here in Korea 6th January, so we're a day ahead of most people in the United States or wherever you're at. And we're going to call this good. For the people that want to get in touch with me, you can do that. And you can do that by emailing me here at this email address, officialthevariedlife@gmail.com. Whether you want to say hi, show me pictures of stuff that you do, or tips and tricks, suggestions to make me a better FDM resin printing, painting person, whatever it is, yeah, bring it on. I always answer my emails at least within 1 or 2 days. So yeah, if you want to get in contact with me, that's it right there. These people bought me coffee. Don't worry about that. The best thing that you could end up doing is giving a like and subscribe to the channel, especially this video, like that. That'll definitely help me, and I appreciate that. That would really help a lot. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close this out, and we're going to continue on in 2026 doing more resin, doing more FDM printing, doing more bigger stuff. You know, we got the sword, we got a rifle up there. We're going to do some bigger stuff this year, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. And we'll keep painting some miniatures to reducing our pile of shame. So yeah, we got that. For all the new people that are watching, appreciate it. So much love to you. You just don't know. And with that said, we will see you on the next video. All right, cool. Peace. Finally got you done. Finally.